Hi everyone, I'm Miss Natalie, and today for Time Travels we are going to be talking about ancient Egypt. So Egypt is still a country you can go visit today. A lot of people like to go visit because there's still quite a few things in Egypt that can help us understand what ancient Egypt would have been like. So what Egypt was like a really long time ago. So today we are going to talk about some of those things. We're going to talk about what life might have been like in ancient Egypt. We're going to talk about hieroglyphs and wall art. And then I'm going to teach you how to make your own papyrus paper so you can work on your own art or your own hieroglyphs at home. Okay, let's jump into ancient Egypt. Alright, so here is a picture of one of the pyramids of Giza. So the pyramids were constructed over 4,000 years ago, so they are very old, and they are still standing today. The pyramids were originally built as very large tombs for pharaohs. So pharaohs would have been like a king who ruled during ancient Egypt. So here is a depiction or a statue of King Tut. King Tut was a pharaoh who ruled during ancient Egypt. He's pretty well known. He's pretty famous. A lot of people think of him maybe when they think of ancient Egypt. Another big thing that people might think of when they hear ancient Egypt is mummies, or the process of mummification. So mummification is a way of preserving someone's body. In ancient Egypt, they felt it was pretty important to mummify themselves for their afterlife, and King Tut was no exception. He was also mummified, and his mummy is pretty famous today. Here's a picture of some art that comes from ancient Egypt. And right away I can tell maybe what people in ancient Egypt would have looked like from this picture. I can see maybe the clothes they wore, the kind of maybe work they were doing. It looks like there's horses, and I can tell all of this just by looking at it, right? I don't need to be able to read anything or understand a kind of language. But if you can see in the back corner here, there are some hieroglyphs. And we're going to talk about those next. So here is a tiny piece of a hieroglyph. And it looks pretty different from the art we just saw before, right? So hieroglyphs were a written language, meaning you actually had to know how to write this language to understand what was being said. Not many people in ancient Egypt could write in hieroglyphs. Only certain people would be taught how to use them. And we do see them in places like tombs, on the walls, on scrolls. They would write on papyrus paper. But unless you know how to speak hieroglyphs, you wouldn't know... read hieroglyphs, they did not speak hieroglyphs. They only wrote in hieroglyphs. And like I said, not everybody even knew how to do that. We talked a little bit about what maybe the ancient Egyptians were writing or drawing on. So we talked about maybe on walls, on kinds of paper, on scrolls. And this plant right here is called papyrus. And that is a plant that they use to make paper. And I'm going to show you how to make some papyrus paper at home out of a brown paper bag, okay? So if you want to draw anything out on your papyrus paper or write anything out, maybe like the ancient Egyptians did, I am going to show you, tell you how to do that. And there's also going to be a link in this video about where I got this idea from that walks you through step by step how to make your own papyrus paper, okay? So here's a picture of the papyrus paper I made. So all I did was I got a brown paper bag and I ripped it into long skinny pieces, and I made a glue and water solution. So I just mixed some white glue in a bowl with some water, and then I took my strips of my brown paper bag and I dipped them into the water. And then I laid them out horizontally and vertically on a piece of parchment paper. You don't want your sticky pieces of brown paper bag to stick to anything, so lay down a piece of parchment paper. And then I let that dry overnight. And then I had this nice piece of paper that I could draw on if I wanted to draw some art like the ancient Egyptians did, or maybe I wanted to write something like the ancient Egyptians did. I have that option. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about ancient Egypt today. I just wanted to take a second to let you know that all the photos I used today were found on Inspire. Inspire is a database you can find on our website, myjclibrary.org, under online resources.